What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Want to thank my sponsor, Steel Supplements. Link and discount code down in the description. And man, what a tale of two videos. I actually had an All-Pro Football versus Madden 21 Next Gen video planned for tonight, and I guess we're going to have to push that off until Friday because, you know, earlier I did the article where I brought up CNET basically came out and said, listen, it may not be worth a console purchase for next gen if you're looking at a game like Madden. And I can tell you, in the years that I've covered this game, I've never once really sat back and thought to myself, this had to be a paid review. But I feel that way now, and I'm going to talk about why. Madden NFL 21 Next Gen console upgrade really does make it feel like a new game. Gameplay informed by real-world data makes a complex sport more fun. I'm no use to stupidity, guys. I had a guy today on Twitter basically come out and say, listen, do you not see the footprints in the snow when you play Madden Next Gen? Like, this is the rationale for defending this product. My tolerance for stupidity in defending this game is almost to the point where I'm numb to it. I expect it to happen. There have been snow effects back to Game Day 98, right? The field degradation in Game Day 99 is better than Madden. I'm sorry. It's just the way I see it. But this article right here, this article just felt different. So we're going to start off by the preview. He actually prefaces this within a preview call with the executive producer of Madden NFL 21, Sean Grady, promised me that I would see the difference between console generations in my first game. I would offer to you that Sean has promised a lot of things to the community, mainly franchise upgrades that have yet to happen, and that this was a promise he made to us all. Now, much like us, this gentleman said he was skeptical, but then goes on to say what most people won't, that Sean was right, that the game was different. And he does this by not showing gameplay footage, mind you. He uses the stock photos that EA released with its game, but rather some very generic situations that he describes. And I want to start by saying the line play for him is the number one difference in Madden NFL 21. And that he suspects it will make the same difference for users who excel at football's more brute force techniques than its speed or finesse moves, because he was able to find holes and hit them, even with a bigger and slower runner, and that it shows what new technology allows EA Sports to do. When I talk about stupidity in statements, this is exactly what I'm referring to. Okay, this is not new technology. That's proven, right? That's fact. It's not your feelings about Madden. It's the fact about Madden. Okay, AWS has been around since 2013. EA could have put this in the game the year they started compiling this data. EA chose not to. Instead, they used it to sell you a next-gen console. That's okay. But we have to be honest with ourselves. So the fact that he feels whatever these stat-driven movements did allows this to happen, we know it really wasn't going to affect line play to begin with. In fact, they never really sold us line play based off this. But he goes on and digs more of a hole for himself, because he says in the article, furthermore, that it is a legitimate upgrade from the last console generation. And I had to read this 2 or 3 times. I feel like EA Sports covered more ground improving its gameplay than their colleagues making NBA 2k21 or FIFA 21 did with theirs. Now, he goes on to clarify, NBA 2k21, no doubt, miles ahead, different game on the new generation. I don't know where this statement comes from. And that's why I said, you know, I know it's a serious indictment for anyone to come out and say, hey, I would really like to know more about this gentleman's review and where these ideas and concepts come from. And it almost, like I said, makes you feel like there may have been some monetary gain here in this article, because this certainly appears to be an extremely biased and not fact-filled article, right? When you come out and say, and to be honest, this is the only person I've ever heard say Madden 21 did more to improve its gameplay than NBA 2k21 did. Imagine that statement. Where does that statement even come from? You know, this is where when people start to talk about 2K versus EA, a lot of it starts. 2K21 graphically took a huge leap. And I'm not saying that Madden didn't, but I feel like 2K21 took a larger leap. They've been doing body scans for years. Madden isn't even at that point. Secondarily, they took one of their most popular game modes and they expanded it into the city. They basically rebirthed the game mode into their game. EA didn't do that at all. So when somebody starts to talk about covering more ground, improving the game, whether it's specifically gameplay or not, that's a really, really ignorant statement. That's a really false statement. If you're looking at facts, if you're looking at someone's opinion and they're not educated, then maybe they shouldn't be writing an article. But if you're looking at facts, that is one of the most ridiculous statements I've ever seen in 10 years of talking about football games. That is a statement that I am not numb to. Now, what I will offer, and what I'm sure some will find upsetting, is the fact that 2K football does not do things as good as Madden, in some regard, right? You can make a case, although it may be difficult, that Madden 21 does things better than All-Pro Football or NFL 2K5. You can say the commentary is better. You can say the game modes are more. You can say the graphics are better. Those are all things that are easily provable. Now, whether or not you want to say that's only because they have more of an actual console, they have more development time with the game, they have more resources through the NFL, those are all points that you could make to defend 2K having a better product when it was built on much older consoles. I mean, 2K5, I would really struggle to think was made at a time where it was even dreamed what your next-gen consoles now could do. But that doesn't mean that when people bring this up, it doesn't make it less of a ridiculous statement. I would offer that anyone in our community mentions something like this or says something like this without any real context to back it up, you probably would be blacklisted. You probably would have your credibility seriously checked. God forbid, and this is where I think the biggest problem with this statement comes in. Because, as I said, in our community, we would probably laugh this off, but that person will be vilified for saying something this stupid. I worry about the parent, right? I worry about the non-gamer. The person that sees an article like this and feels that it is justified or feels that it is truthful beyond just someone's opinion. Because to me, this is not a provable opinion. That goes out and doesn't know what to purchase a family member, a friend, a child, a relative, and goes and buys a next-gen console and looks at a wall of games they're not familiar with and says, let me buy the football game because I know that's a sport that they love. And that person is going to be put into one of the most negative experiences they could imagine. They're going to look down on a next-gen console. They're going to feel frustration. They're going to be put into a community where if you speak out about this game, you're going to have developers, producers, employees of a company block you. You're going to have to watch people embrace a game's mediocrity because no one wants to say the things that need to be said 99% of the time. You have people that want to write it off as it's just a game. It's just something we play for fun. It's just a hobby. But that's not what EA sells itself as. This shows you EA embraces this, right? EA knows the competition is there with NBA 2K, right? They know that the competition is there. They know that they're trying to make a better game. They're comfortable with somebody saying these things, misleading a customer. There's really no excuse that on the same day, you can have one gentleman come out and say, don't even buy an next-gen console for a game like Madden. In fact, take Madden at face value that you may not want to buy one for a specific game at all. And then hours later, someone come out and say, this is a completely new game. This is a completely fresh experience. And it's not only worth your time, it's worth your investment of going out and buying another gaming console. Love to know your guys' thoughts on this. Appreciate you checking out. And as long as there's people here to write stupid articles, I will be back in a week with more commentary.